Cancer is a disease where body cells grow uncontrollably and spread to other parts of the body. It can start almost anywhere in the human body, which is made up of trillions of cells. While on the other hand, chemotherapy is a cancer treatment where medicine is used to kill cancer cells. It can be used to try to cure the cancer completely, make other treatments more effective by combining it with radiotherapy or use before surgery, and relieve symptoms if a cure is not possible. Gathered here are family, friends, and well-wishers of Bamigbetan's family in honor and memory of late Mrs. Fatima Bamigbetan, who died on November 21st, 2021.
A repeater, meaning a testimony of good news.
The late Fatima is wife to Honorable Kehinde Bamigbetan, former Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy.
What will seem a negative event, to turn it into a positive thing.
Bamigbetan, having lost his heartthrob, took a decision to organize a fundraising towards research grants on patient care under chemotherapy to contribute and help patients of the deadly disease.
Fatima, in the heat of her sickness, just wanted to be 50. I'm quite sure if she had attained that age, she would have been much more willing to accept the fatality, of her mortality. And therefore, I insist on that to immortalize her in a manner that will add value to understanding what cancer is all about. One area where you can prevent is in learning, discovering new ways to manage it in terms of medicine, in terms of care. And that is why we have decided to commit ourselves to this.
The program, which took place at the Airport Hotel Ikeja, Lagos on May 19, 2023, was also to celebrate the posthumous birthday of late Mrs. Fatima Bamigbetan, who left behind 3 beautiful children.
I think there are some, false statements or false reasoning about cancer and prevention and care and all of that. So I think I would want the government and the public in general to take away the message and the teachings that we got here, and also carry out further research in order to make themselves more aware of what it means of what the sickness cancer means, its prevention and its care.
The First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, was a special guest.
The First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Mrs. Claudiana Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, would have liked to be here this morning personally.
While commiserating with the Bamigbetan's family, the First Lady commended Honorable Bamigbetan for his effort on the fundraising, which is aimed at touching human lives positively.
I solemnly stand in unity and solidarity with the Bamigbetan family to again mourn the painful passage to glory of our beloved sister and friend, late Mrs. Fatima Bamigbetan. I must emphatically state that her demise is still deeply painful, and we are comforted by the impactful life she led while she was here on earth. As a member of the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials Council, Mrs. Fatima Bamigbetan contributed in no small measure to the actualization of the ideals of our esteemed committee towards making a positive impact in society, especially as regards the welfare and well-being of women and girls.
Professor Taufik Owonikoko, a professor of hematology, Faculty of Medicine in United States, who was the guest lecturer, spoke on strategies for cancer treatment from possible cures to limited options.
Just to let people know that cancer is a major problem worldwide. It's not limited to any region of the world. It affects every continent you can think of. Unfortunately, it's a very common problem. Almost 20 million new cancer patients were diagnosed in 2020, and that is just in 1 year. And when you look at that, the more the number of people you have, the more likely you're going to have cancer. So Asia has almost half of all cancer patients. When you look at African countries, about 6.7% of cancer patients reside in one or the other of the African countries. Same advances made in lung cancer we've made in breast cancer, and that has led to improvement, but there's still ways to go. Surgical management is one of the ways that is you perform surgery to take out the cancer. That is one way by which we treat lung cancer. Also, the lining of our mouth. We don't know it, but we actually change the lining of our mouth very regularly. So that's why when you injure yourself, you burn yourself, whether with hot or cold drink, it will heal itself. That area is always regenerated. So when you take chemotherapy, that can also be affected, and that's why you see somebody taking chemotherapy, they may have sores in the mouth and could really be a source of pain and discomfort for the patient. And then our blood cells, we make blood cells in our bone marrow, and from cradle to our grave, we continue to make blood cells. We cannot survive without it.
Pledge of funds were announced by the representative of the wife of the governor, Mrs. Azizat Tijani, who is the Assistant Secretary for the Committee of Wives of Lagos State Officials. Former Nigeria's ambassador to Cuba, Senator Segun Bamigbetan Baju, Honorable Monsuruddin Oloyede Bello, Chairman of Ejigbo LCDA, Professor Yetunde Kuyino, representative of Lagos State University Vice Chancellor, Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello.
And so my wife and I are privileged to be part of this noble cause. And on behalf of her and myself, we pledge a donation of 100,000 naira a month for 10 months and equals 1 million naira.
I personally, for now, would support this cause with 100,000 naira. And
if the local government in 2 installments will do 2 million naira. Thank you very much.
The fund will be used for exactly what you meant it for. Donation of 500,000.
The new Fatima, when she lived, how she lived, the kind of person she was. She turns 50 today. If she were alive, we'll be dancing, jumping up and down, and we thank God for her life. So it's good that today is remarkable because her name is being written in gold. And what the subject of the program of today is something that affects all of us. What doctors say is that we all have cancer. It's just that our own immune system are able to take care of those things. So you don't know who's going to be the next patient. So the lecture was good, very educative. There are things we can do to prevent, ameliorate it. Then even if you get it, there are things you can do. But more importantly is to create a support base for treatment. So I think it's a remarkable thing. I think it's good. The family should be appreciated for this, the husband in particular.
After her, we definitely put her name in the minds of all of us. We were happy that this research is being packaged today, not to remember her alone, but to also give us the memory that she left behind. And it's going to impart on the life of people who are currently having this kind of ailments, and to also prevent, as we have been taught during the lecture, to prevent that ailment and to have a better society. So I'm happy to be part of the program anyway. And I want to thank God for the life of the children and the band that she left behind. I have been keeping the family, putting the family in the right pedestrian. I'm happy. I know that God Almighty will continue to strengthen the family and uphold the children.
Our doctors too must ask for more. They must embark on more researches, so that whatever drug is the outcome of their efforts would be able to heal the patients that they are taking care of. So for all of us, there are no comfort zones. We have to continuously get out of our comfort zones and see how we can add value to the treatment of cancer.
The aim of the event is to create awareness about cancer, how to prevent it, and create possible solutions to patients under chemotherapy.
Deliver speeches at official functions.